your other son, Tommy,
Yeah,
unfortunate news.
yeah.
I think we're all set to leave to Tampa next
Yes,
week,
he
and
was, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, he's had a bacterial chest infection for about 6 or 7 weeks, but that didn't bother us. We was going to battle through that. But owing to a complete idiot in the gym, punched him in the ribs, a man of 16 or 17 stone with his bare knuckle, punched him in the ribs and broke his ribs. At the end of the day, I was horrified, was going to try and battle through it, because when we got him x-rayed, they said, no, it's just bruising, it's ligament damage. And then he was sparring, he couldn't throw a punch, he couldn't move. He said, look, I'm in bad pain, Dad. He said to Tyson, I'm in pain, I can't move. So took him to a specialist in Manchester. They x-rayed him properly, and the findings was there.
Oh, wow.
Broke ribs, what can you do? Chest infection, broke ribs. It's unfortunate. It's cost a lot of money. People's lost a lot of money.
Right.
The disappointment's immense for Tommy and us. Tell you what, Jake Paul, if you're any kind of a man at all, mate, let's renegotiate this fight for March, or I will come to...
What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So we just heard there from big, humble John Fury. Listen, the JP, my doggy, the JP, has knocked the wind, knocked the wind out of Big John Humble. Yeah, John Humble. Listen, what happened? I can't lie to you. This is the second time this year we've heard the boss. Yeah, you know that. Listen, John Scary, aka John Humble, aka John No Bass in his voice, Fury. He is known. He is renowned for a certain level of, I'm not sure what you'd call it, a certain level of, he talks in a certain frequency. It's that, well, tell a lie, in certain circumstances, yeah, when he thinks something's sweet, he thought Jake Paul was sweet, yeah, he was like, what's that smell? Oh, there's some good old sweetness in the USA. That's what John Humble was thinking. 2 twos. Next thing we know, yeah, I bend over, you missus, you missus, you bend up straight over, I do it like a dog. What happened to all that? That's what I'm confused about. I'm confused. What happened to bending dude's missus over and doing it like a dog? That's what you was. It's only a week ago you was lyricking like that. Now, oh well, he's a fair man, and good luck to him. Oh, it's bad, man. It's bad for John Humble right now. Yeah, had the fire knocked out of him, had the wind slapped right out of him by the JP, and it's embarrassing because I was the one telling you, man. Quite a few people were telling me, why are you giving Jake Paul the ratings? Oops. Yeah, you might have got egg on your face right now. Because, number one, most of you, man, who are knocking Jake Paul ain't never been in the ring. Because I haven't been in the ring. But difference is, he doing things that all these so-called up-and-comers doing. What? I mean, Timmy Fumbles went in there with a man who wouldn't even... Timmy Fumbles went in there in his last fight with a man who shouldn't even have been sanctioned. The guy was 30 kilo lighter than him. Never should have been sanctioned. And you want to talk about what Jake Paul ain't doing? Now he's fighting the man who he had a tough fight with on 2 weeks' notice. Who doing that? Most fighters, if someone pulls out, at best they get a bum in. Or at best they reschedule the fight. But anyway, back to the point. Listen, John Humble. Yeah, the people want to know. The people are demanding to know what happened. Where did the base go? Yeah, where it at? I do you miss it like a dog. I'll bend it right over. And I can't lie. I was enjoying the lyrics, but and this is the thing for me. Michelle the Fire Phelps. I'm not sure what you've been doing. I think you've been doing a bit too much Botox, truth be known. Look, your cheeks are looking a little Botoxy for my liking, but listen. What was I going to say? Yeah, Michelle the Fire Phelps. These media guys, these media women and guys, they're funny style. Yeah? And for me, it's the hypocrisy. Halfway through this interview, she starts saying, or in fact, no, when she says that, people are criticising some of the things you've said, and then she goes, yeah, people are hypocrites, they've never done, they say things they can't back up. I thought, what? You've said there that people say things they can't back up, and the fans say things The fans are slagging off Timmy Fumbles, and they're out of order for doing so because they can't back it up. What? Now, I ain't got a problem. If you want to be critical of the fans, that's fine, but keep that same energy when you've got the biggest hypocrite in the world in front of you. Yeah? Talking about he ain't never going to pull out, don't pull out, and we're fighting men, we'll fight you with no ribs, and all this. And then Timmy Fumbles has to come up with the most shocking excuse. And you know what? I can't, in my reaction video to Timmy Fumbles' excuses, I didn't really break it down properly, but I'm going to have to do a rehash of that one, because it was shocking on second thoughts. Talking about, I had an illness. Now, let's get something straight here. We all saw the press conference 2 weeks ago. Now, John Fury alleges that, Timmy Fumbles was sick for 7 weeks. Well, he didn't look sick at all. And again, even in that rubbish apology video, even in the pull-out video, he didn't look sick. He looked A-OK to me. He looked like a dude who was pulling out a score. He looked like about a 5-year-old nursery child who wanted to try and pull a sickie on their parents. Oh, my ribs have hurt and I'm super duper sick. That's what he sounded like. But anyway, where I was going with this was, John Scary says that, he was sick for 7 weeks. Number one, you did look a bit sick. Yeah? You weren't sick when you was telling Jake Paul. Wait a minute. So wait there, you was sick. You'd been sick for weeks. At which point you told Jake Paul, make sure you don't pull out. How does that make sense? Think about it. If you've been sick for weeks, the last thing I'd be saying to someone, if I wasn't feeling great and there was chances I was going to pull out, the last thing I'd be doing is telling someone not to pull out. So the fact that Timmy Fumbles was ranting and raving on, there was nothing wrong with the guy. He was okay. But even having said that, let's say you're right, he was super duper sick. He then says, the reason my ribs got broke was because the illness made my bones weak. Oh, that must be a new illness then. I've never heard of the flu melting your bones away. I've never heard of that one. Yeah? What's that one then? That must be a new variant. Yeah? That must be another scariant. That must be the second scariant that's come along. But anyway, where was we? Listen, John. People want to know, where has the boss gone? Yeah, Timmy Fumbles, he ain't been sick for 7 weeks, and next joke about John Fury. A man came out of nowhere. A man came out of nowhere and punched him bare knuckle in the ribs. Can you believe this? And the thing is, for me again, Michelle the Botox Phelps, talking about, the fans are hypocrites, and it's easy for fans to say things and not back it up. You giving it all that, but where's the questioning of this situation? John, you've just said some random 18-stone dude came up out of nowhere and punched him bare knuckle in the ribs. Like, who's going to do that? Knowing, what people don't understand is, what Team Fury fangirls, what Team Fury fan goobers don't understand is that when you're in these kind of high-power camps, when you're in a Fury camp, do not mess with the prize, because you're liable to get got, if that makes sense. No one, who in their right mind goes into a Fury camp and punches the main guy in the ribs bare knuckle? Who does that? In fact, that's not even if it wasn't a big, I've never seen any type of behaviour like that. Who does that? But again, this is to get all the Tyson Fury Goober fans gassed. Oh yeah, no, he was bare knuckling, that's why. Yeah. It's because Timmy Fumbles is too hard. He was just doing bare knuckle training. Get serious. Timmy Fumbles, look at that face. Timmy Fumbles wouldn't know bare knuckle if it hit him on the nose. Look at him. He wouldn't know. Listen, I know more about bare knuckle than he does. How about that? Pretty looking face. Listen, don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't get me wrong. If it comes down to a competition between who is the better Calvin Klein model, yeah, if it comes down to who is better at getting molested by some next creepy photographer don, then you best believe Timmy Fumbles has a lot more experience getting launched by some next creepy Calvin Klein photographer don behind the scenes. Yeah, he knows a lot about that. The YB ain't got no ideas about them ones. Yeah, I'm not involved in those seedy photographer things. Timmy Fumbles, he know all about that. Yeah, he know all about the ITV executives. Yeah, he knows all about them ITV executive suites. Yeah, how do you think he got onto Love Island? Oops. Yeah, listen, Timmy Fumbles, he know how to work a room, put it that way. He knows how to work the executive suites in ITV. He stay working them executive suites. Yeah, make sure all the execs are nice. Listen, Timmy Fumbles nices off all the executives to get onto the shows. That's what he stays doing. Call me a liar. Did or did not Timmy Fumbles end up on Love Island? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these guys, they stay active. Yeah, listen. These guys, their chops stay active. You best believe that. Timmy Fumbles' chops was real active in that executive suite. Yeah, giving it all that one. But anyway, back to what I was saying about the bare knuckle thing. Yeah, who is this guy then? Because expose him. Yeah, if it's 18, like for me, it's the narrative building. Oh, it was an 18 stone brute, an 18 stone bare knuckle brute came out of nowhere and popped me in the ribs. What's his name? Can we hear, you know what I mean? Can we hear about this big brute who did this thing? Who I've never heard of any etiquette like that. Who would do that? Big fight or not big fight, big name or not big name. Who is doing that? And for me, it's again. Another thing that makes me skeptical is why is it when these guys are fighting complete stiffs, you never hear of no problems, do you? Yeah, when Timmy Fumbles was fighting that Anthony Taylor guy, the one that was about 2 foot tall, guess what? Timmy Fumbles never has no problems. In fact, when Timmy Fumbles fights all of the bum fights, you never hear. Oh, I wouldn't mind, yeah. For example, there's some people like, for example, Vidal Riley. Vidal Riley, he pulls out everyone, whether it's a bum or not a bum. He pulling out twice, 3 times. He loved pulling out. Yeah, Vidal Riley is the #1 puller outer, so at least he's consistent. But Timmy Fumbles, when he knows he's going in there with a bum, even if he ends up going 50-50 as he always does, even if he ends up nearly getting sparked out by a bum, he still turns up. But the minute it's a big fight where there's where there's actually more incentive to turn up because you're getting paid more and you're meant to be getting a big name and you're meant to be coming up off of Jake Paul's name. Oops. Oh, my ribs. Oh, bare knuckle. And again, it's that whole playing on the bare knuckle thing. Everything with John Fury is bare knuckle. Everything. And that's why I said to you guys the other day, I've been saying this for a while, John Fury is appropriating. Yeah, that is cultural appropriation. He doesn't know bare knuckle. He's not. He ain't one of them ones. He a fake one. He a wannabe bare knuckle. 100%. He's like one of them dudes, yeah. He's like one of them dudes who goes to Africa and then comes back with all the cultural garms on. Yeah, you didn't know nothing about Africa before you went there. Now you got all the garms and you know what I'm saying, one of them ones. 100% cultural appropriation. Because John Fury don't know nothing about bare knuckle. He's a middle class don. He lives in a house, and yeah, for the cameras he'll kind of rent a caravan and give it that one. But he ain't really like that. Yeah, his kids are in private school and they're good. We've seen how they behave. Yeah, and Billy Ho Saunders' pops was getting moshed. There weren't no bare knuckle in them, because the bare knuckle rules say, and I think there was one don in the team who was bred bare knuckle because he was straight over the fence. But the Furies stood there and flapped because they're middle class. Yeah, they're private school. They're private school middle class kids. And it's good for them. I'm not knocking it. Yeah, I'm just saying what it is. I'm calling a spade a spade. You weren't doing no bare knuckle. There weren't no bare knuckle 18 stone guy that knocked you in your ribs. It didn't happen. And the fact that I wouldn't even mind. We expect these reporters to shill. Yeah, that's how they get paid. But for you to sit there and slag the fans off for asking questions and calling out Timmy Fumbles, but then not to question Mr. 17 Stoner who came out of nowhere and popped him in the ribs. So how does that make sense? And again, this for me, if you actually listen to the way John Fury says it and his body language, this shows you how good at lying John Fury is. He proper tries to build in all of the facial cues. He proper tries to make it. If you didn't know otherwise, if you didn't have any IQ, if you didn't have any logic, you'd think he was telling the truth. Because he actually puts that, oh, I couldn't believe it. Some guy at 17 stone came out of nowhere and bare knuckled him in the ribs. Anyway, what can I say? Let's read. I've got some more notes here from John Scary. So yeah, he ends up. So obviously he's been humbled. Obviously, John Humble has lost all the bass in his voice, and then he starts saying, "If Jake Paul's a man, he will renegotiate." But again, notice how he's lost all the energy. He's gone from, "I'm going to bend your missus over," and I'm going to bend your missus over like a dog, to begging for a renegotiation. He begging for his 5% or 10% cut. I can't blame him, to be honest. He begging for the cut. Yeah? And in a way, I appreciate John Fury, because at least he's being honest, yeah? The fact he's lost all that energy, the fact he's lost all the bass in his voice, it's good, because you best be humble. You best come with your begging plate, and yeah, and your two open hands. Yeah, John Fury, make sure you bring your donation plate and your two empty open hands, and start asking the JP for some more blessings, because he blessed you once. Again, I respect John Fury. I respect John Fury for coming up with his begging plate. He's dropped all the energy he had is gone. Now he's just begging. Oh, if you're a real man, and trying to play on Jake Paul's heartstrings. Oh, if you're a real man, and Tommy Fury's mum wasn't well, and all that kind of stuff. Trying to pull on the heartstrings there. So I respect that. I respect the hustle. I respect the beggery. You best be begging, because what we know is, we've all seen Timmy Fumbles fight. We know he had an accident waiting to happen. Just think about Josh Kelly versus David Avanesian. Josh Kelly wasn't even that suspect. But in 2021, Timmy Fumbles is an absolute accident waiting to happen. And we know he ain't got the chin for it. Yeah, so whilst Josh Kelly finished on his feet, Timmy Fumbles is going spark out, flat on his back. Yeah? And Molly will come running into the ring, all shocked and whatnot. Yeah, she'll be saying, wait there, you told me you was bare knuckle. You told me you've been doing this 10 years. I didn't know you got no chin. Yeah? Anyway, John Fury, at one point in the interview, he did actually find some energy. He said, and this is the thing with John Fury, John, let's call a spade here. The first time you lost all the bass in your voice was when Mickey Theo was on your neck. Yeah, Mickey Theo stayed on your neck. And you didn't want nothing to do with Mickey. Mickey's older than you, Mickey's smaller than you, and you didn't want nothing to do with him. So when you tell Jake Paul, don't mention my name, I'll come over there and slap you, Jake Paul would knock the fire out of you, John Fury. Yeah, in fact, and I've actually worked it out now. I've worked out why John Fury is able to talk big. Because he knows he's got a built-in excuse. Oh, I can't come to the US. Yeah, so John Fury knows he can't do nothing about it. And that's when John Fury is most dangerous. When he knows he's got a nice built-in out, he'll talk the most. Because John, like I said, Jake Paul would knock the fire. You wouldn't slap no one. Honestly, I'd bet anyone who thinks John Fury would win that fight. I'm taking all bets, 100%. And we know the white likes to gamble. I'll be taking all the bets. Because John couldn't do nothing in his prime. John went spark out against the Black Skellington and Team Lighty with one shot. And that was a chin that was 30 years younger. Anyway,